The FCS college football experience week 5 preview and picks episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Game Time. Snag the tickets without the stress. Use the promo code CFBX on your first purchase to save $20. Download the Game Time app. Use that promo code CFBX. Save $20. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Yes, play the underdog pick'em in college or NFL and win up to 20 times the amount of money you could enter in one game. Plus, every Sunday they're giving away $100,000. Woo! There we go. Use that promo code SGPN and Underdog Fantasy for 100% deposit bonus up to $500. We're also brought to you by VSiN. Yes, sign up now and save 40% off with their football season special when you use the promo code SGP over at vsin.com/subscribe. Once again, promo code SGP. And finally, we're brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. So download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com. Use that promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today, people.
This is Jim Mora, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Yes, yes, yes. Woo-wee. Welcome to the FCS college football experience week 5 preview and picks. Oh, we got a loaded slate. We got big time matchups that I'm super excited to watch. I'm not going to be on the road this week, so I'll be able to watch more than last week. That was the only shame about last week, is I've caught most of my games throughout the week here, on tape delay. You know, old school, baby. Get that VCR, hit that record, and that shit lives on forever. All right, can't trust the interwebs. I'm joking. Look, we got a loaded slate though, and I'm excited to talk about it. Perhaps you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, and that's 100% fair. My name is Colby Swiggin Database Dad, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I smoke and I drink and I don't have stress and I'm healthy.
Nobody knows nothing.
Somebody knows. Double the price, but no one touches Dundee.
Woo! Let's go. I mean, we got a Friday night Ivy League game and then a loaded Saturday slate. I think some dogs are barking. I like a lot of dogs on the card. You might hear me. I mean, look, this is some really, really great matchups. We'll get into it. We're going game by game like the fucking Avon lady, baby. Just door to door. Not missing anybody. All right, I am joined by my co-host. Give it up for. They call him the Gulf Coast Guru. He's down there. He's on the beach down there in the Gulf of Mexico having cocktails with pineapples on the side of the rim. All right, he's just doing the damn thing. Give it up for Mike Rose, aka the Gulf Coast Guru. How you doing, man?
I'm still chuckling about the Avon lady, man. My mom was an Avon lady back in the day. I'm like 10 years old trying to explain to her what a pyramid scheme is. Yeah, man, I'm taking this week personal. I'm coming after you. I listened to your show the FBS show while I was sanding tables today, and I started hearing a 20-minute monologue on the 10 man on the field, and I took it personal. I'm coming for Colby Day.
Let's go. Look, I don't know how you fucked that up, man. I don't know how you fucked that up. I had VMI legendary, former Eddie Robinson Coach of the Year on the show. I'm dropping this episode. When will I drop this episode? But this episode will probably come out. There's another episode I did later tonight that will drop very soon because I just need the time to release it. It's already out there on YouTube. I just have been running around, but I had former VMI head coach and Eddie Robinson coach of the year, Scott Wackenheim, on the show. Just retired from VMI a season ago. And that's a solo episode where I just interviewed him, and it was fantastic. And, at VMI, even though he says Marcus Freeman, he says Marcus Freeman is a promising young coach, and we shouldn't, overreact to this, but he also said that we have a guy at VMI that counts the players. And, if you're doing it at VMI, I'm sure Notre Dame has that money too. But he also says Marcus Freeman accepted the, a lot of coaches don't, they have too big of an ego. They won't just admit it was their fault, And I thought we both thought, me and coach, that he handled it well considering, and we're all fucking humans. Sometimes shit happens. You know what I mean? So, one time I took Maryland when they played Penn State and they lost 59-0. All right. I think I know fucking college football well, but god damn, I still get mad about that one. Look, we're going to be talking all about games, and like I said, be ready for that episode to drop probably tonight while watching these other games. Let's just get right into it. We got a Friday night game, and shout out to the chat. Appreciate Keanu Ruiz. Appreciate the GOAT. Pick Dundee says the GOAT of college football gambling. There we go. He lost the rest of his money. So I made him all the money. If you're watching youtube.com/the college experience, I made him money on college football, but then he lost it on the NFL. That happens. But he did have the Buckeyes on the money line. See, I still had Notre Dame plus 3.5. So I'm not super mad, and I'm not a Notre Dame fan. So unlike Mike, he's got to just sit in that misery. So, it's okay. See, I grew up a Colorado Buffalo fan, and they were down 42-0 very early on. So
there you go.
I knew. I was like, okay.
Started stress hitting the vape pen. Didn't realize what kind of vape pen it was.
Oh shit!
That game got wild. I'd had 7 guys on the field at the end of that game. I wouldn't have known what the hell.
Maybe that's the reason for it. Maybe Marcus Freeman a little timeout, hit the vape pen, completely forgot. That'd be more understandable. I'll give him a pass there. All right, let's get into it because we have an hour here to I'm trying to watch the 100 Miles of Hate, Middle Tennessee and Western Kentucky, but we do have. I'm going to start things off with a lock. I see a situation that I really like. Friday night, Columbia, the Lions, who had a crazy offseason replacing a head coach and late in the year. And I don't know what the hell they did last week. And look, I bet on Georgetown last week. I got my ass kicked because Columbia won 30-0 against the Hoyas. But now they head to Princeton. Meanwhile, this game's on ESPNU Friday night. Princeton's coming off of a loss in overtime to Bryant 16-13. See, I think Princeton's a pretty damn good football team. They won this matchup 24-6 a year ago. I think they're going to bounce back. I love laying 2.5 points with Princeton here. I will lock it up to start things off, to start the madness, to start off a great week of college football in the FCS. What are you doing here in this game?
I'm following right along, man. I'm locking this one up too. Great spot. Got to lay the 2.5. Princeton's much better team.
There we go. Let's go Tigers. As Mike Tyson once said, I got the heart of lions, tigers, and bears, right? Let's go. Let's take these Tigers. Let's jump on over to Saturday's action. Man. Actually, let me go. I'm a bit intrigued. Like should we just start the lock party? Morgan State is catching 14 at Yale. I think that's too many points. I think this Morgan State team is solid. I am locking up the Morgan State Bears. Once again, I gave you the Tigers. I'm giving you the Bears. I got the Heart of Lions, Tigers, and Bears. Right? I just need the Lions, which we might get to later. Take the 14 to Morgan State. I'm intrigued by this matchup. Love that 9 a.m. kick. Gonna have this on here at the studio in Los Angeles, California. What are you doing to this matchup, man?
Yeah, brother. I mean, Yale hasn't really shown much of anything going on yet this year, and Morgan State, I don't believe they've lost by more than 14 to anybody. So I think their biggest loss, maybe 10 points. So I'm not going to lock it up. I'm a little worried about this spot on the road, but I am going to take Morgan State as well.
Okay, there we go. And by the way, I am drinking right now moonshine.
Oh, there you go.
This was gifted. This was sent to me by Western Carolina Catamount diehard Weehawk. I appreciate the gesture, Weehawk, who keeps inviting us to tailgate there with Catamount Nation or the Cat Nation, whatever the fuck it's called. They're awesome people. And look, I had only had moonshine really in college days, and you know, college days, I don't even know who the fuck we knew. I don't remember the backstory, but it tasted like ass, but we drank the hell of it. This one is absolutely delicious. I don't know what, I didn't know there was such a difference. I'd probably turn down moonshine every other time in my life after that. And I didn't know that it could be concocted this well. So shout out to Weehawk.
Drink about 3 of them and all of a sudden you can't stand up. Yeah. I've been there,
that might happen. That might happen too. Moving along. Let's jump on over to the next matchup here Central Connecticut State is getting 18 points at Brown. This game's on ESPN Plus. Brown, 127-20 the last time they played. But look, Brown almost knocked off Harvard. They knocked off Bryant in the opener. 18 is a big number. Give me Central Connecticut State. What are you doing here?
Yeah, same here. I don't love this game a whole bunch, but Brown 18 feels like a lot. They've had an emotional start to the season, but I don't want to lay it here. I'm going to take the points.
All right, moving along. Howard, the Bison, are heading to Pittsburgh to take on Robert Morris, or somewhere around Pittsburgh, somewhere in Pennsylvania. I think it's close to Pittsburgh. Howard is catching 1.5 point. Wrong team favored. I know Bernard Clark, and I was a bit shocked at this line. I don't get it. I don't get it. Wrong team is favored. Howard is better. Howard wins at Robert Morris. You know what? I'm locking this shit. They're not losing to Robert Morris. Howard's solid. Let's go. What are you doing here?
Yeah, dude, I'm right in tow. Howard, we talked about him before the season started. What, with 20 some starters coming back, or 20 altogether? So yeah, I'm going with Howard too. I'm locking it up. This is a great spot.
Yeah, let's go. Locking it up. The locks are flowing. The moonshine's flowing. The chat is flowing along too. Shout out to Chad G. Let's go. Yeah, I like a lot on the card. I'll put it like that. I like a lot on the card. Duquesne is heading to the fucking Long Island Sharks. Take on the fucking Sharks. The Sharks will lay 1.5 points. I know I got CJ Sullivan in the other room. He's a former Duquesne Duke. Subscribe to the Bottom Line Bob's podcast. I know Long Island won 50-48 against Duquesne a year ago. This is on the NEC Front Row app. I think the fucking Sharks though are at home and they're going to handle Duquesne. I'm going to lay the 1.5. This is going to be a close game though. Give me like a 34-31 final. The fucking Sharks are victorious. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I'm going the same way. I was really close to locking this one up. I'm not going to do it, but this is the home opener for the Sharks. They started off 3 games in a row on the road. This team's just really, I don't think separated by too much, but I love the spot with it being the home opener. So I'm definitely laying the points. Close to a lock.
Yeah. Stetson is heading to Marist. New York's never going to be the same. Stetson's laying 1.5. What the hell am I missing here? I feel like this is almost a lock. Stetson minus 1.5. I love this play. It's fringe lock potential for me. What are you doing here?
Yeah, Marist, they just got off the schneid though against Valpo. So you're kind of like, they were like this last year. I remember when we kind of previewed them, we were looking at them and this is back and forth. I am going to take the points at home. This is a pretty far trip for Stetson. So
true.
I'm going to take the points.
All righty. Next up we go to Davidson, North Carolina, where the San Diego Toreros fresh off their first win of the season. Talk about a travel. You want to talk about fucking travel? The Pioneer League ain't messing around. San Diego at Davidson. Davidson's laying 8.5 points. It's too many. I can't trust this Davidson team. I will take the 8.5 with the Toreros. What are you doing here?
I'm gonna lay the 8.5. The way the season's going for Davidson so far, it almost seems like I haven't really looked into it yet. It feels like a major key player might have been hurt those first couple weeks, and they might have came back because now they've looked like they've turned it around. I'm gonna lay the points here. I'm not sold on San Diego at all yet, so give me Davidson.
Okay, yeah, I just don't think David's. I know. I mean, short of last week, Davidson's had their issues scoring as well. Shout out to Rebecca Lee. Wants to know the F line is still open. Old school. There we go. We had the F line for the FCS playoffs back in 2021 when the COVID year was happening. The Bryant Bulldogs are taking on Rhode Island. Now we're talking. Now we're talking here. Bryant against Rhode Island. This to both schools. In case you didn't know, these are rivals within the same state. So excited to see this game. Love this game on the schedule. And once again, I mean, I'll also give out a huge shout out to the Bryant Bulldog Nation. And what I really mean is our good friend Ryan Callahan, who's just a diehard Bryant fan. Love that. But this game, Bryant's kind of been all over the place for me. Like they've been hard to get a gauge on. And now, you know, they're taking on the Rhode Island Rams, who I could not believe the way Rhode Island got beat down last week. Rhode Island's laying 15. It's a rivalry game, so I will take the points. I don't feel great about it though. What are you doing here?
Yeah, no, I think you have to take the points here. Being over 2 touchdowns, a rivalry game, little in-state battle. So yeah, I'm taking the points here for Bryant.
Yeah, I mean, I just think I could see Rhode Island winning by 14 or something, but yeah, I mean, I just feel like it's just a little bit too many there. Next, actually, wait, before I get to the next one, I want to tell you fine people out there that the FCS college football experience is brought to you by Game Time. Yes, buying tickets to your favorite event shouldn't be that stressful. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all sports, music, comedy, and theater that is near you. With killer deals on last minute tickets and their best price guarantee, you can stop stressing over the tickets and start getting hyped for the fun that you'll be having at that very event. So, folks, what are you doing? They also have the Game Time guarantee, which means you'll always get the best price. In fact, if you find tickets in the same section in a row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. So, download the Game Time app, create that account. Use that promo code CFBX for $20 off your first purchase. Once again, terms apply. Create that account CFBX for $20 off. So snag the tickets without the stress with Game Time. Download the app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Game Time. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy has a way to play alongside your favorite football team all season long. You can win up to 20 times the money you enter in a single game by going 5 for 5. Also, from now until October 4th, Underdog is matching 100% of the first deposits up to $500. They're also how about this? They're giving away $100,000 every Sunday. They got that's not it too. They got $2 million in total prizes for the all season long tournaments. Also, $100,000 every Sunday. They're also randomly giving $10,000 to 10 different people every single week. New customers every week. New sweepstakes every week of the NFL season. So what are you doing, folks? Watch along, make your picks, and maybe make a little extra cash over on Underdog's mobile app and website, underdogfantasy.com. When you sign up with the promo code SGPN, Underdog will double your first deposit up to $500. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code SGPN. All right, we are back on the FCS college football experience, and what a great way to go back into the Ivy League. Old school rivalry. Old school. I got fucking Dartmouth. Fucking Dartmouth is heading to Penn. Take on the Quakers. This game's on ESPN Plus. Penn won 23-17 a season ago. This is at Franklin Field, one of the best stadiums in all of America. in my opinion, we should play some of our college football playoff games here. If we're gonna definitely do neutral site games in FBS or FCS, they should always play a game here. Legendary fucking place. However, you look at fucking Dartmouth, and Dartmouth is just beat down Lehigh 34-17 after losing to New Hampshire the first week. Now Penn sitting there at 2-0, nice win over Colgate, nice win over Bucknell. So am I a bit surprised to see fucking Dartmouth laying 1 point? I am. I think the line's telling me something though. I'm taking fucking Dartmouth to cover the 1 point, and look, they're doing this for Buddy Tevens. Let's go. May he rest easy. What are you doing here?
Interesting. Well, first of all, those neutral site games will be at riveting college football environments like Lucas Oil and the Superdome.
Disgusting.
Disgusting. That's what's up. But
fucking disgusting.
I gotta lock up Penn, man. This was my preseason pick to win the Ivy. They came out. They look good so far to start the season. I'm locking up Penn in this game.
Gulf Coast Guru saying, riding with the Quakers. Eat some fucking oatmeal.
What's their chant? UTEP got
this line doesn't this line reek though? I feel like this line reeks.
It does, man. But what does Patty C say?
Dive into the stink.
Dive in.
St. Thomas, the Tommies, our boys haven't necessarily been as good as we thought they would look, but they're laying 8 as they head to Dayton, Ohio to take on the Flyers. Flyers coming back from that loss in San Diego. They're laying not only 8, they're laying 8.5. 8.5 points are the Tommies laying. I think it's a little too much. I think Dayton's going to be able to hang around some. I will take the Flyers to bounce back at Welcome Stadium. Their great name for a stadium. Welcome to Welcome Stadium. This game's on ESPN Plus. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I mean, this is a team that only beat Moorhead by a touchdown. So I'm really not thinking it's time to lay 8.5 with the Tommies on the road as much as I'd like them, like their story. Seems like a very SGPN oriented team just with the way they're going. But 8.5 on the road, I don't think I could lay that. I'm taking Dayton. It's
just a little too much. It's just a little. They haven't passed the eye test yet, I think. And I did eat shit on Dayton last week, so it's not like I'm super excited to. I'm probably not gonna bet this one, but I find the matchup a little intriguing though. I want to see the Tommies continue to roll, and Dayton, come on, let's go. Moving along though. By the way, Virginia Lynchburg's taking on Delaware State. Can Delaware State get their first win? We don't have a line on that one, obviously. Presbyterian is heading to Indianapolis, Indiana, to Butler to take on the Bulldogs. Butler's laying 16.5 points. It's a lot of points in a Pioneer League game. I'm going to lay it though. As much as I think Presbyterian is better, kind of sold on Butler. I will lay the 16.5. What are you doing here?
Yeah, Presbyterian coming off of a bye week after snagging their first big win of the season over Wofford. So interesting, but I mean, we've both been kind of singing the praises of Butler lately. They're looking pretty good this year, looking the part. This is a game where they can prove it. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to lay those points too.
Yeah. East Tennessee State. What has happened to the program? Come on, Buccaneers. Let's get it together here. They're heading to Samford to take on the Bulldogs. Samford's laying 16.5 points. I'm laying it, man. East Tennessee State, they look like ass this year, man. I'm laying it, even though I don't like laying that big of a number. And I don't know what's wrong with Samford either, but I'm laying it. I think they get it right here against ETSU. What are you doing here?
This is like one of the toughest games of the week for me to handicap. I picked Samford to win the SoCon. I pick them every week. Locked them up last week. They made me look like an idiot. ETSU coming off a bye, so it's really, really hard for me to lay these points. I'm going to do it, but this is the last week I'm letting Samford fool me. If they don't cover it, I'm getting away. I'm letting it go.
Lehigh is heading to Monmouth, where the Mountain Hawks are catching 17.5 points. It's too many points for a Monmouth team having all sorts of trouble. Give me the Mountain Hawks plus the points. You?
Yeah, pretty much the same breakdown I just gave you on Sanford. I feel the same way for Monmouth, except I'm not as surprised that Monmouth has been struggling. They lost a lot this offseason, so I'm going to take the points with Lehigh as well. They've been chippy this year. They beat Merrimack, so yeah, I'm taking the points.
St. Francis, PA, the Red Flash are heading to Stonehill, take on the Skyhawks. What the hell has happened to the Red Flash? FCS playoff team a year ago. Cole Doyle it's just not working out there. 0-4, and man, they have looked trash. Meanwhile, Stonehill's coming off a 44-point loss where they got shut out by Fordham. Something's got to give here. St. Francis is laying 1.5 on the road. I'm going to lay it. I think they get right here. Cole Doyle, those for a big number against the Skyhawks. What are you doing here?
Yeah, there's two very similar games here that I see that we're probably going to get to the other one next. So -1.5 on the road, a team that was supposed to be pretty good, playing a team that's supposed to kind of suck. This one, I'm going to go on your side. I'm taking St. Francis. I think maybe this is a little bit of a get right spot. I'm going to lay the 1.5 on the road here.
Let's go. Merrimack. I thought they'd be better this year, but also a lot of people thought Sacred Heart would be better. Merrimack, Sacred Heart doing battle. Something's got to give here too, as Merrimack's laying 1.5. These NEC games, these tight spreads. Give me Merrimack. I think they're the better team. I'm laying the 1.5. What are you doing here?
This is the other game that I just alluded to. A team that's been struggling, laying 1.5 on the road. I'm actually going to go ahead and take my Sacred Heart team again. I picked them to win the conference in the preseason. They came through for me last week, so I'm gonna go in one more time. Give me Sacred Heart.
Fordham is heading to Washington, D.C. Cooper Field. What the hell is happening to my Hoyas? Fordham's laying 22.5 points. I hate to do this to my boys. But I'm locking it up. Fordham has turned a fucking corner. I think they're going to fuck them up. I think it's going to be like, give me like a 49-10 final. Fordham covers the 22. Lock it up. What are you doing here?
I am also laying the 22.5. I mean, Fordham's figured it out on offense. So let's go. Let's go ahead. Let's lay it. I'm not going to lock it. I still have hope. Still have hope that Georgetown can get back on track.
I almost feel like they've been the hardest team in all of the FCS to read because they looked really good out the gate, and then like to lose 30-0 to Columbia. What the fuck? Colgate is taking on the Big Red and Jamison Wang, who came through for us last week. Cornell is laying 15 points. Give me Colgate plus 15. Give me like give me like 35-21 final. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I'm surprised to see you go that way, but that's also the way I went with it. I mean, Colgate is damn near auto fade at this point for me, but this is a classic letdown spot coming back home after the Yale win, and you're playing a nobody team. So I'm going to take the points, but I feel really, really dirty doing it.
Yeah. Shout out to J. Scott Rhodes, friend of the program. It says, "What's up, fellas? Tried to recover from that Illinois State beatdown. I get it, man. I get it. But we appreciate you tuning in, man. And hey, you know, Lindenwood is a program on the rise. They were recent additions to the FCS. Got to keep building. Got to keep moving forward. I mean, I'm still optimistic. I think you should be too. But speaking of, being optimistic, I was very optimistic on Western Carolina this offseason. This line almost smells a little bit to me. I'm locking this fucking thing because Western Carolina is laying 18 at the Citadel. Citadel. I historically love the Citadel. I want them to be good. It ain't happening against Western Carolina though. I'm locking up the Catamounts. I'm drinking their moonshine. Damn, you better believe I'm locking up Western Carolina. Shout out to Weehawk. Lay the 18. You see what they did? The 77 points. Was it 77? I think it was 77. 70 or 77.
Yeah, I think it was 77.
Yeah. Good luck. Take Citadel. You better hope you bleed that clock if you're taking Citadel. What are you doing here?
I'll tell you one thing I'm damn sure not doing is taking Colgate and Citadel back to back. I don't like this spot for Western Carolina. I really don't. Chattanooga on deck. They've been red hot. I mean, it's hard to keep that momentum and not look ahead in spots, but there's no way I can take Citadel here. So I'm going to lay the points, not locking it though.
Drake is heading to Morehead State. Yeah. Morehead State's laying 9.5. That's a lot to lay for Morehead State. And yet I find myself doing it.
Ooh.
I don't know though, man. Why is it not? I don't know. It's a tricky one, man. This is one of the harder ones. Actually, fuck it. I'm laying it. I think Drake's terrible. Morehead's at home. I'm laying the 9.5. They win 17-7. What are you doing here?
I am not laying 9.5 points with Morehead. I can't do it. Drake, they are pretty terrible. But I mean, if you look at who they played so far, they played North Dakota, they played South Dakota State. Both those teams housed them. Both those teams are playoff teams, essentially. There you go. So then they played an NAIA team, but they're the NAIA champs. So they lost to them. I give them a little bit of leeway on that. So I'm going to take the points. I don't think Morehead's good enough to lay 9.5 against pretty much anyone. So
you make a strong point. Like I said, I will not be betting this personally.
Me either.
I talk about some of the better games of the day. And I think so far we've kind of gone through a lot of the shittier games. I mean, I'm very intrigued to watch Bryant, Rhode Island because of the rivalry. I love catching the Ivy League games, fucking Dartmouth and Penn, Columbia, Princeton on Friday. And then Morgan State, Yale, I do find appealing, but a lot of these other games so far haven't really caught my eye as much as perhaps, some other games at that 9 o'clock slate in previous weeks. This is where it gets interesting to me. William and Mary is heading to Elon. Fascinated by this matchup. Big time game in the CAA. These teams both made the FCS playoffs a year ago, and I think both think they're contenders to win the CAA this year, and rightfully so. I am seeing William and Mary as a 1.5 point favorite. Now, here's the thing: Mike London, the head coach of William and Mary, former Virginia Cavalier. Not only did he play at Virginia, he coached at Virginia. He was fired by Virginia. They have Virginia on deck. And you worry about the potential look ahead spot for the Tribe. But then you're like, wait, is it FBS even a look ahead? I think maybe a little bit. Elon won this matchup in the regular season a year ago by 4. But once again, Matthew McKay, he's gone. They now have Matthew Downing, the former TCU and La Tech quarterback. It just makes it this one is I'm fascinated by this matchup. I am still going to ride William and Mary because I think Elon is still good. I don't think they're as good as a team as they were a year ago. Now I know William and Mary's got some injuries at some key spots, but I kind of trust the culture that William and Mary has and who's back a little bit more. I will lay the 1.5 and go with the Tribe. What are you doing here?
Yeah, this is a really dangerous spot for William and Mary, but I think a lot of times when I'm really looking for the look ahead game, I think it's a game where the other team, you're not really seeing them coming. And Elon, they gave up a fight against Wake, almost beat Wake. They, just took down Campbell, who's been looking pretty good. So I think William and Mary knows what to expect. I don't think they're looking past this, especially being on the road. I'm actually going to go ahead. I'm going to lock up the 1.5 and
let's go Tribe. Fascinating game. I'm just fascinated by this game. Next up, another barn burner here. Youngstown State. Yes, Gulf Coast Guru's very own Youngstown State. Heading to Cedar Falls, Iowa, to take on Northern Iowa. Northern Iowa is laying 1.5 points. I think they got this shit wrong. I think Youngstown should be favored. I am taking your boys just because I have not been impressed with Northern Iowa this year. So give me the Penguins going in to Cedar Falls. What are you doing here?
Yeah, you can't keep the Penguins down, man. You can't fuck with a Penguin. Actually, I'm going to lay the 1.5 with Northern Iowa.
Oh,
I believe they are coming off a bye. My phone is completely not loading anything, but I think they're coming off the bye. Give them a week, get right. Theo Day at home. I think this is a tough spot for Youngstown State, so I'm actually going to lay it.
fair. That makes sense. I mean, that's a really good game. That's what I mean.
Oh yeah, I'm watching that one.
We've entered the part where we're getting pretty good games going on. Austin P is heading to Lindenwood, the penitentiary. Once again, special shout out to Jay Scott. Man, I'm trying to be optimistic for Jay Scott. But damn, I've been kind of impressed with the Governors lately. And the fact that they're laying just 17.5, I think Austin P will win by more than 17.5. I'm sorry, Jay Scott. I feel like first half, if you can find a first half number here, which I doubt you will, maybe you ride Lindenwood. See, I'm trying to be optimistic. Austin P though, I got this one at like 35-13. Austin P rolls. What are you doing here, Mike?
So the last time we had Lindenwood, you went ahead, you took them, and I laid the points with Illinois State. This time, I think we're gonna go the opposite way. We got to keep at least one of us in Jay Scott's corner.
Yeah,
I think this is the kind of game that a program like Lindenwood that's building, and you get it at home, you're gonna be really, really excited. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna take the points with Lindenwood, and I'm gonna say they're a little scrappy in this spot.
there we go. See what we did? Like true politicians dancing around it.
I'm going for those votes, man.
Yeah, exactly. Look, man, I hope I'm wrong. I just think, honestly, actually, no, I don't hope I'm wrong if I bet it, and I might bet that thing. I'm sorry. I just think Austin P has been kind of nasty lately.
They've been looking a lot better than I thought they were going to.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I gotta
Gardner Webb on deck. Second leg of a back-to-back, and Gardner Webb on deck for Austin P. There's a bye in between though. Nah.
Yeah. I think
I'm trying so hard.
I can appreciate that. Let's move along. Next up, we're going to where are we at here? Norfolk State, who I rode. How about Sparty? Let's fucking go. However, they're taking on North Carolina A&T. My guy Terrell Furman Jr.'s North Carolina A&T Aggies. Brand new head coach Vincent Brown coming back to Virginia, where he just was a DC for Mike London and William and Mary. You might remember Vincent Brown from Bill Parcells and the New England Patriots in the 90s. A&T's favored by 5.5. Nope. You're not coming down to Norfolk State. Norfolk State's legit. I'm taking Norfolk State. Give me Norfolk on the money line. What are you doing here?
I agree. I'm actually locking this thing up, man. Norfolk hasn't been looking bad, and I thought A&T's roster looked like trash. So I'm locking it up. I'm taking the points.
I like it, man. I'm not locking it, but I like it. Mike Rose says ride with Sparty down there in Norfolk, Virginia. Next up, we are jumping around to this is a really good game. I'm still kind of shocked at the spread, but I shouldn't be. North Dakota State's laying 25.5 points at home against South Dakota. South Dakota covered against Missouri. I'm taking South Dakota plus the 25.5. I feel like I should lock it, but I'm not, because North Dakota State is a fucking powerhouse. And I feel like I've gone against them. I locked up Central Arkansas. I think I took Eastern Washington as well. And that didn't hit for me. So what are you doing here in this one?
Well, here's the thing I'll say about this spot. I'm going South Dakota as well. North Dakota State beat them by 17 last year. And I think it's just that kind of similar sort of game. They're two similar teams. South Dakota is also very physical, and they play really good defense, not much offense to speak of. But I think they're going to be able to at least hang around for maybe 3 quarters or so in the trenches with North Dakota State. And I don't think they're going to get embarrassed out there. I'm taking the points.
Yeah, I think we take the points too. And back to Jay Scott for a second. He says his son is out with COVID. He was supposed to get more playing time. I'm sorry to hear that, man, and I hope everything's okay with your son, and I hope they get it going. He said his son's a redshirt freshman running back. Well, look, I hope everything's okay, and sometimes it's darkest before light, so maybe he gets a week off, gets healthy, and then comes out and rips shit up, man. We're wishing for him, man. Appreciate you. And best wishes to your son. Moving along to the next game. We're going to go to, let's stay with these Dakotas. North Dakota, the Fighting Hawks. I was impressed with them when they played at Boise. I hit my Boise bet, but damn, did I have to sweat a little bit there. North Dakota's catching 17 at South Dakota State. The Jackrabbits with the checkered end zones. Brooking South Dakota. They call it the Dyke House. It's too many points. I'll take the 17 in North Dakota because I think these are pretty much rivals, and I think North Dakota is going to hang around enough. Now, I would like this to be at North Dakota, obviously, but maybe the wheels fall off late. But give me the Fighting Hawks plus 17. What are you doing here, Gulf Coast Guru?
Yeah, that's actually going to be my breakdown of this game. Is I do think the wheels fall off late. I think North Dakota keeps it tight up until halftime. I think third quarter you see a little bit of a pull away, and then fourth quarter you get some late scores for South Dakota State to cover this spread. I like it that it's at South Dakota State, so I'm going to lay the points in this one.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Shout out to Ryan Hassey in the chat. Says we should all cheer for Lindenwood. Let's fucking go. Yes, 100%. Look, if I had to list FCS favorite teams, I got my Western Carolina booze here sent from me from Weehawk, and yeah, Lindenwood is right up there. So wishing the best for Lindenwood. Next up, let's jump on over to Hampton. Is heading to Richmond. Richmond has been, I don't know. This is a Virginia game. Obviously, both down there, Southern Virginia. I'm intrigued. I like this game on the schedule, and now it's a CAA game. It used to just be MEAC against CAA. Richmond's laying 13. I kind of think it's a little bit too much. I can't trust this Richmond team after barely getting by Stony Brook. Give me Hampton. Give me the Pirates, from one pirate to another pirate. Let's go with the Hampton Pirates plus 13 in Richmond, Virginia. How about yourself, Mike?
Yeah, I've been holding a grudge against Hampton ever since that showdown with Grambling earlier in the year when we had a lock battle. So
that's
still not all that happy with the Pirates, but I can't lay that many points with this Richmond team right now. They're not blowing anybody out. They're barely winning games. So I'm taking the points here.
Yeah, I think you gotta. Weber State, who got blanked a week ago, one of the more baffling scores of the whole season. I think that would be number one. I think for the most baffling score of the season. They're heading up to Greeley, Colorado, where I just was. I stopped by the stadium, even though there wasn't a game, just to check out the stadium. Weber State's laying 31 points. That's a gigantic number. But damn, if I don't think they probably had a hard week of practice, because let's not forget Weber's been a very good program. They won at Northern Iowa earlier this year, beat Utah State a season ago in the FBS. I'm actually going to lay the 31. I think they get it done. I think they're going to be laser focused this week. So give me something like 45-10 final. They get it done. They cover the gigantic number. What are you doing here in Greeley, Colorado, Mike?
Yeah, we've talked about some teams that are pretty much auto fade at this point, and Northern Colorado is basically, after last week, getting kind of handled by Idaho State. I think they got to be in that category. So this is a good get right game for Weber State. We'll go ahead and lay the points.
Next up, we're going all the way to New Hampshire, who's laying 19.5 points against Towson. Now, like I said, I'm going to be dropping an episode later tonight. That, this episode will come out first. Then after that, I'm going to have the Scotty Wackenheim interview come out. Scotty Wackenheim, former head coach at VMI, took them to the playoffs a couple years back. Eddie Robinson, coach of the year, and his son is on the staff at Towson. So I'm connected now I gotta be rooting for the Towson Tigers. I think it's a little bit too many points too. 19.5. Give me Towson to cover just enough. New Hampshire wins by 17. What are you doing here, Mike?
I'm laying the points with New Hampshire after the loss to Delaware. I think they're going to come out, and I'm looking for Dylan Labe to have a huge game after being shut down last week. So Towson, I would say the one thing that's kind of in your corner is I think Towson was overlooking Norfolk last week and was looking ahead to this game. But I'm still going to lay it with New Hampshire. I think they're pissed.
Yeah, that makes sense. Bucknell is at Lafayette. Lafayette's laying 11.5. I mean, kind of impressed with both these teams at one point or another this season. I think they're up. They're playing better ball than they were a year ago. 11.5 is a big number. I'll take Bucknell plus the points, even though I think Lafayette wins the game. Give me like a 10-point game though. Give me I don't know, maybe even like a 7 or 8 point game. Give me the Bison plus the points. What are you doing here?
Yeah, Bucknell, I can't quit you. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take the points too. I don't know. I got a soft spot for this team, so I'm going to take them.
Yeah, let's jump on over. Reese Poffenberger, our boy. I see this line has moved actually too. Villanova is at Albany. Take it on the big Poff. Nova's now laying 2. I think this was 1 earlier. Or I think earlier in the week it was at a pick. Now I'm seeing Nova laying 2. I think Albany's going to upset him. Nova just had a huge win. I think Albany pulls off the upset here. I am taking the Great Danes. I mean, if you're going to bet this, you might as well take it on the money line. What are you doing here?
Yeah, same exact thought process. Albany's been scrappy all season so far. I think they're going to be geared up for this game. They looked a little sleepy last week, so I'm wondering if part of that was in preparation for the Nova game. So I don't know. Nova, classic letdown spot. Albany at home. Yeah, I'm taking it.
Yeah, let's go, big Poff.
Stony, I'm locking it.
Woo, woo,
let's go.
Let's go. The Great Danes, one of the best names in all of sports.
Oh yeah.
Let's go. Money line play, says the Gulf Coast guru. Next up, we are going to Maine, where they're laying 7.5 points against Stony Brook. I can't do that. I can't lay 7.5 with Maine right now. Give me the Seawolves, despite their ridiculous name, despite how shitty that team has been so far this year.
I know the human being and fish can coexist peacefully.
Give me the Seawolves plus the points. They only lost at Richmond by 1. Fuck it. I think they can cover this. What are you doing here?
Is a seawolf a fish? I actually have no idea what a seawolf is.
Yeah, no, it counts as a fish in my book. All right.
Yeah.
Their silly ass name.
I got to see at the beginning of it, I guess. Yeah, same breakdown, dude. Can't lay 7.5 with Maine right now. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take Stony Brook too.
Yeah, I feel like it's just too many points. Next up, jumping over to one of the best games of the day. And by the way, Villanova Albany is a great game too. There's a lot of really good games, with North Dakota at South Dakota State, Villanova Albany. This one I'm super excited about. Idaho's heading to that. There's a nickname for this turf. I forget it, but someone told me this, and I've been using it for like the past 5 years. But I'm just been brain dead this year on it. So Eastern Washington, there's a name for their stadium and their turf. I just can't recall. Idaho's laying 5. I'm actually laying the 5.
Ooh.
I'm actually laying the 5, even though I think this matchup is going to be fantastic. Give me a thriller where Idaho wins late by 7. What are you doing here?
Man, I think this is a 3-point game, and I don't know which way, honestly. Eastern Washington, they've been playing lights out this year. They seem like they're back, and I'm sure as hell not going to fade them at home. So I'm taking the 5 for sure, and it's close to a money line play for me. Matter of fact, I'm locking it. Give me the lock.
Oh. Eagles flying high. Eagles flying high on that red turf that I can't remember the name of. Hit me up. DM me at the Colby D, ye Dub fans, because I know you know the name of this fucking thing. And I've been I can't remember it. Idaho State, Cody Hawkins, fresh off his first win ever, heading to Missoula, Montana, where things are getting hot for Bobby Hawk. One of the worst losses perhaps in his tenure in Missoula. They're laying 28.5. It's ready for a wake up call. No, I'm not laying 28.5. I don't care. I don't believe they have the personnel. Give me the Bengals plus 28.5 in Missoula. What are you doing here?
Yeah, on top of the fact that I don't think Montana's all that good, I think this Idaho State team really believes in what Cody Hawkins is doing. They've shown nothing, but they go out there and they fight every single week. So I'm good with it. I'm going to take the points as well.
There we go. Ryan Hassey says they call it the Inferno. Maybe that was it. I think that might be it. Something like that.
That's cool as hell if it is.
No, there's some nickname for it. I remember. I've been up there, and I think it might. Maybe he's right. The Inferno. Next up, we're going to Raleigh, North Carolina. This is another fun matchup to me. You got Campbell with Mike Minter. I like what he's doing with this program in Bowie's Creek, North Carolina. They're heading up to Durham to take on North Carolina Central. I love this North Carolina Central team with Davis Richard at the quarterback spot. Campbell's laying 2.5. As much as I like Central, and I really like Central, I think Campbell's talent is going to be the difference. I'm going to lay the 2.5 with Campbell. That game's underrated. One of the better games this Saturday. What are you doing? What are you doing in this one?
Yeah, I've been kind of going. I feel like I'm pretty locked into Campbell. I went with Elon last week. I feel like I'm tracking this team pretty well, and I think you're exactly right. That's the difference. Is going to be Campbell flat out has the more talented roster. I think they win this game, and I'm laying the points, and I'm also going to lock it.
Woo!
I feel good.
Said ride the camel. Let's go. Fucking Joe Camel over here. Let's go.
I wish that was their mascot.
They should. If I was, man, I don't know.
Bring back that leather jacket.
Let's go. Portland State, fresh off of scoring 1,000 points the past 2 weeks, catching 28 at the Bobcats of Montana State. Here's what's crazy. I want to take Portland State, but the way Montana State just beat down Weber State, I can't. I'm laying the 28 with Montana State. It's in Bozeman. That shit gets lit there. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I'm 63% Scandinavian, so a lot of Viking blood in me, but still fuck Portland State. I was completely against them in the preseason. I'm not turning coat now just because they're making me look dumb. I locked up Cal Poly last week. Screw that. I'm laying it with Montana State. Let's go.
Tarleton State's taking on Southeast Louisiana. We once thought this was a good game in the preseason. I don't know about now. I mean, the spread is just 5 points though. Sela's laying 5, and I kind of thought I'm a bit surprised at that number. I'll take Tarleton. I'm wondering if this line jumps drastically, or I'm wondering even if the sheet they sent me is accurate, because I felt like Tarleton should be the 5-point favorite. Regardless, give me Tarleton State. What are you doing here?
Are Sela's favored?
By 5. Oh no, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I misread that. Tarleton's favored by 5. I fucked that whole up. But still, I thought it would be more. Is my point. Give me I'm gonna lay the 5 with Tarleton.
Yeah, I feel like you kind of have to. Sela, they're kind of in the running for like biggest letdown team in all of FCS football this year, just with the way they've started off, and they haven't even looked kind of good. So I think you have to lay the points here with Tarleton.
Let's go. VMI, Danny Rocco, the new head coach, having a solid first year, heading to Georgia, take on Mercer. Mercer's laying 22 points. Too many points. No, I don't know. Mercer's due for an ass whooping though. Mm-hmm. You know what? I'll lay the 22. What are you doing here?
Yeah, same thought process. I feel like this is where they finally get somebody and kind of show out on offense. So I'm gonna lay the 22 here.
One of the better games, and this is going on at the baseball stadium there. I forget the name of the park where the minor league team plays. Harvard and Holy Cross. I love this game on the schedule. They're both located in Boston. This game's great. Holy Cross is laying 17.5 points. I think it's too much. I think it's too much for a rivalry game on that baseball stadium right there. I can't remember the name of the stadium. Can't remember shit today, to tell you the truth. Anyway, give me Harvard plus 17.5 points. What are you doing here?
Yeah. I think Harvard, they've really surprised me so far this year. They look pretty damn good. So I'm going to go ahead and take them playing at the Qual Hog or whatever that stadium that you're talking about is called. So I'm in.
Yeah. It's something park. I forget the name of it, but yeah, I'm fascinated by that game. That game's underrated, and so is this game. Southern Louisiana. Jesus, dude, you can tell I'm on my 8th podcast today. Southern Illinois is minus 14.5 as they're hosting Missouri State. Missouri State just put an ass whooping on Utah Tech. That's too many points for me. Southern Illinois it's been a fun story so far, but that's just way too many points. I'm actually going to lock up Missouri State plus 14.5 points. I think it's a game. I think Southern Illinois is probably going to win, but 14.5, that's just too many points. Let's go. What are you doing here?
I'm going to lay the points. I got a feeling. Last we saw Southern Illinois, they lost to Eastern Illinois, correct? Was that the last game?
No. That was Illinois State.
That was
Southern
Illinois State.
Beat Southeast Missouri State in a game they probably had no business of winning. Yeah.
Then I am on your side. I got my Illinois teams mixed up. So I'm going to take the points as well. I'm not going to lock it. Missouri State has been looking a lot better than I thought they were going to this year with all the turnover. I'm going to take the points, but not locking it up.
I'm going to keep the locks flowing because Arkansas Pine Bluff, the Golden Lions are hosting the Southern Jaguars. I think Southern's all right, man. They're a 4.5 point favorite, but I think they're covering this. I will lock up Southern minus 4.5 on the road there. What are you doing?
Yeah, Arkansas Pine Bluff kind of fucked me over last week by covering, but I think that was more about Alabama A&M not being very good or not being as good as I thought they could be in a game like that. But Southern, I think they're one of the better teams in the SWAC. So yeah, I'm taking them and I'm locking them as well.
Let's go. Southern Jaguars with those awesome uniforms. They look like you're straight out of Louisiana. They do a great job identifying with the state. Chattanooga is heading to Wofford. Take on the Terriers. The Mocs, ever since week 1, have been playing good ball. They're laying 24.5. Wofford's been a complete no-show. I'll lay the 24.5. What are you doing here?
I feel like you kind of have to lay the 24.5 here. I think this is a bad spot for them. Just they got somebody on deck, and I can't even think of who it is now, but Chattanooga has what is it? Western Carolina, isn't it? So this could be a tricky spot for Chattanooga here, sleepy spot particularly, but I think you have to lay the points with how bad Wofford's been.
Yeah. I just think you have to. I think you got to. I'm not betting this personally, but I just think we're picking every game. That one makes sense. Mm-hmm. Kennesaw, I can't believe they're jumping to the FBS as GBO Farms messaged me or tagged me and said, are we sure you're ready for the FBS? Because you just lost to Tennessee Tech. But Kennesaw's laying 8.5 against Charleston Southern. I'll lay the 8.5 just because I think Charleston Southern sucks, but I wouldn't go much higher on this. What are you doing here?
This is one of the tougher games. I'm definitely not betting this game. Charleston Southern does really suck, but they've also been kind of feisty with like Clemson for a little bit there, like a quarter and a half or so. Yeah. So I don't know. I think you take the points, but I'm staying far away from this game.
Alcorn State is taking on Alabama State. Alabama State's laying 1. Wrong team favored. Alcorn should be favored. I will take the point, but just play it on the money line. The Braves. Let's go. Braves on the warpath. Let's go. What are you doing here?
Yeah, same thought process. I think the wrong team's favored. I'm taking Alcorn.
Florida A&M is laying 29 points I'm seeing right now as they head to Mississippi to take on Mississippi Valley State. Lay it. Mississippi Valley State's horrible. A&M is good. I will lay the 29. What are you doing here?
Yeah, another team in absolute auto fade for Mississippi Valley State, so I'm laying the points as well.
Grambling is taking on Prairie View. Prairie View is getting 4.5 points. Remember, Grambling maybe making me eat my own words a little bit, but come on. You know, Prairie View is my team. You know, Bubba McDowell is my guy. All right. Had a chance to sit down with him. I liked when I interviewed him. He was a nice guy. I really liked him. Sometimes that shit can jade you though. You go and meet the coaches. One guy that you're like rooting for, just naturally the human element of it. Like, oh, I like him. You know, I'm getting burned on a couple others in the FBS that I've met. And I'm like, oh, that's my guy. But I actually really believe they can cover this. Let's go. Give me Prairie View. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I'm actually locking Prairie View. I think they're straight up the better team. I'm locking this one up. Do it. Not sold on Grambling.
I'll join you. I'll join you. Let's lock it up. Shout out to my guy, Bubba McDowell. Next up, jumping over to Eastern Illinois is laying 6.5 at Northwestern State. Get the fuck out of here. I'll keep the locks going. I'm buying in to what EIU is doing with Pierce Holly. Let's go. EIU is my one of my darlings this year, man. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I'm really impressed with what EIU has been doing, and I'm going to take them. I'm not going to lock them up on the road going down there to Louisiana, but I am going to lay the 6.5 right along with you.
Indiana State's laying 1 at Murray State. Ugh. I'll lay the 1. I don't feel good about it. I don't need. Part of me wants to take Murray State. No, I just think Indiana State's recruits better. I will lay 1. What are you doing here?
I mean, the question to me is, has Indiana State like straight up given up? Because on paper, they're the much better team. I'm laying the 1. I'm damn near tempted to lock this because they're not as bad as they are. It's just it feels stupid.
Should we?
Yeah,
should
we
bet?
We
yeah,
should,
let's bet
man.
this. Let's give me the Sycamores. Larry Bird's alma mater. In the spirit of Larry Bird, the biggest shit talker ever, maybe. Tennessee State is at UT Martin. I'm actually kind of interested about this matchup here. UT Martin, I think, looks like a top 10 team to me. Tennessee State, when they beat Gardner Webb, I came away impressed. Now UT Martin's laying 18. In-state battle. Give me Tennessee State in the points to cover this. What are you doing here?
Yeah, same thought. It's in-state battle, so I got to go ahead and take the points here. It's a tricky one. I'm definitely, it's not even close to a lock, but I'm gonna take the points.
Lamar is going down to Houston, Texas, take on Houston Christian, who just got a dub. Houston Christian catching 1.5. So Lamar's a favorite. What the fuck am I missing here? Give me Houston Christian on the money line. Don't even play that. Let's go. What are you doing here?
I'm taking my Lamar, man. I think they got this. I think they're straight up the better team. Plus, you get Houston Christian in a spot after a huge upset win. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take Lamar.
Texas A&M Commerce went for 2 to beat Old Dominion. It didn't work out. They lost 10-9. Love the cojones though. The call going for that one. Now they're catching 17 at Stephen F. Austin. The only problem is, I kind of think Stephen F. Austin is going to put it on them now. Now, fuck it. I like the fact you went for 2. Give me Commerce plus 17. What are you doing here?
Man, I'm close to locking this one for Stephen F. Austin. This is a bad spot for Commerce coming off that loss, that heartbreaking loss where you went for 2 against an FBS school. Now you're playing a Stephen F. Austin, the team who lost a really close, heartbreaking loss of their own. They're the much better team. I'm really close to locking it, but I'm laying the points.
This is an interesting matchup here. Eastern Kentucky laying 7.5 at North Alabama. EKU just might have saved their season. I'm gonna buy some stock on that momentum. I'm gonna lay the 7.5 against North Alabama. Although if take North Alabama, they're the Lions, and then my heart of the Lions, Tigers, and Bears comes true. I just think EKU might have saved their season, though. I will lay the 7.5. What are you doing here?
Yeah, Commerce, they're Lions, aren't they?
That's true.
There you go. You got your Lions.
That's it, baby. Let's go.
Parlay
Texas
that
A&M.
shit.
Yeah, we parlay Texas A&M Commerce, the Lions, and then we have the Lions. I got the heart of Lions, Tigers, and Bears. That parlay, it can go. It could fly.
Yeah, I'm laying the points with EKU as well, man. I think you got it right. I mean, their whole season basically started over last week, so let's go. Let's get it done. I'm laying it.
Now we got one that is near and dear to our heart because I think we had these teams rated as the top 2 in the UAC.
Mm-hmm.
Central Arkansas heading to Utah to take on Southern Utah. Central Arkansas is laying 4.5. I got to be honest. I know we have Southern Utah second. I think Central Arkansas is going to put it on them. I'm going to lay the 4.5, man. I know it's a far road trip. Maybe that shit's cold. You gotta hope it's going to be cold if you're taking Southern Utah. What are you doing there?
Yeah, this is. I'm going to be honest. I've actually never seen a Southern Utah home game. It's just like I'm going off of every other Utah school I've ever seen in college football and assuming they have a pretty good home field environment. So
Yeah.
it's contrasting style. I really like this game. It's contrasting styles. Southern Utah can move the ball a little bit more through the air. Central Arkansas pounds the rock. I'm going to assume there's some elevation to this game.
There is. I've been there. Yeah. I've been there. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to take the points. I'm going to say this is a tough spot. I don't think Southern Utah wins this game outright, but I'm taking the points. I think it's about a field goal game.
Fascinated by that matchup. One of my favorite games to watch this Saturday. Nichols is taking on McNeese State. Nichols is a 5-point favorite. I will lay the 5. I think I think I'm fade McNeese. Fade McNeese. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I agree. I think Nichols is a lot better team than McNeese, and McNeese has shown absolutely nothing so far. So I'm laying the points here as well.
Let's go. 2 games left. UC Davis taking on Cal Poly, old school rivalry. Davis is laying 22. It's in San Luis Obispo. They got that John Madden money. I still got to take Davis minus 22. What are you doing here?
Yeah, Davis coming off that loss. You got to think they're going to get right here. Cal Poly, I don't know. I'm just nothing I've seen really with Sam Heward has really impressed me. I feel like last week wasn't a game you lose as a 5-star coming down to the FCS. So I'm not bought into that kid. I'm not bought into the hype around the program coming into the season. I'm laying the points.
Yeah. Final game on the slate. Pretty good game. Northern Arizona, fresh off of that huge upset against Montana. They head to Sacramento, California, where Sac State just lost to Idaho in a crazy way. But Sac State's laying 20. I just think that's too much. I think Northern Arizona can cover the 20. Sac State wins by 15, 14, 11, something like that. But give me the Lumberjacks on the road there plus 20. What are you doing there?
Interesting. I'm really close to locking up Sac State. Actually, I'm not going to do it. But Northern Arizona, I thought they sucked going into last week. I only took them with the points because I thought Montana sucked too. So Sac State coming off that tight game. But yeah,
I rewatched that game this past week, right during the week because I wasn't able to catch it live because I was shit hammered in Laramie. But they went with the other quarterback, and I know I touched on that in the recap. I think he might be able to give them some problems. I think they have the right guy now behind under center. Yeah. So he's kind of a dual threat quarterback. And I feel like I could be wrong about this game because it's a road trip and it's his first ever start on the road, I'm assuming. I'll take the points, but maybe you're right.
I'm gonna make him show me. I'm gonna lay it.
Okay. There you go. Folks, that's our show. All right, we'll be back to react Monday night. Well, also, did I touch base? We have 3. Wait, I should touch base. Rutgers is laying 56 against Wagner. I'm taking Wagner plus the 56. There's no way you don't take. Yeah, Utah Tech is taking on Colorado State. Colorado State's laying 23. I locked up Colorado State minus 23. I think they're going to put it on Utah Tech. Abilene Christian's catching 10 at North Texas. I took North Texas, but I don't feel great about it. They're coming off a bye week, so I think North Texas, it makes sense there. And that's the slate. Do you have any leans there on are you taking North Texas? You taking Abilene?
Same picks all around the board. I'm taking Wagner. I'm taking North Texas, and I'm also going to double lock Colorado State with you right there. I like that as well.
Yeah. The Lions, Tigers, Bears parlay is live. People, jump on it. Shout out to the whole chat for making it great. Love you guys. And folks, give Mike a follow here on Twitter at GCG_wins. Mike does great work. He's always plugged into college football. He knew that there was only 10 on the field before the ball was even snapped. All right. Notre Dame, hire him. Anyway, look, I mean, I'm excited to watch games. Go enjoy and watch all these games. FCS football, the most underrated, undercovered thing in America. Get out there, check it out, support FCS college football, folks. We are the FCS college football experience. Subscribe, hop on over to iTunes. We only have one fucking review, you fucking losers. What are you doing out there? Get on over to iTunes. Give us a 5-star review. It takes 2 minutes out of your day. All right. Come on. Just type in Google FCS college football experience, iTunes, and boom, it's going to come up and you can leave a review. That's all it takes. All right. Check out the FBS college football experience, which is just called the college football experience. Check out the college basketball experience. Just dropped some conference previews over there. The college baseball experience I also do with Noah Beanick, and we have the Big 12 experience, which I'm not a part of, but it is part of the family. I was on an episode like 2 weeks ago, so there's that. But check out the Big 12. If you like the Big 12, check it out. All those are separate podcasts. They come together as one on YouTube, youtube.com/the college experience. Subscribe there. And yeah, folks, until next time, this is the FCS college football experience. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.